Imagine that a mother has to give her young child away to somebody, a total stranger, who is going to take this child away, far away, and she may never see him again. Or imagine a father who's going to have to sell his underage teenage daughter, 12 years, 14 years old, and marry her off to a 70-year-old person, another continent, and he may never see her again. And the tragedy of that is that even if she was in trouble and needed help and asked for his help, he's unable to take her back. This is part of what we call modern-day slavery. And slavery exists. It exists now. In the age of wonderment, that is my question, that in the 21st century, why are we allowing slavery to exist? It exists in a big way. There are at least 27 million slaves in this world today. 27 million. That's far more than the slaves that were transported out of Africa over a period of 400 years, east and west. It's the fastest growing organized crime in the world right now. It is even ahead of drugs. Drugs get consumed, and that's done. Human beings are being sold and resold and resold. It fetches $32 billion a year in revenue. The problem with this is it goes under the name of human trafficking. And human trafficking does not do justice to the kind of brutal, dehumanizing things that slavery brings with it. And we don't see it. It's a hidden crime. We don't see it. For all you know, you may be sitting amongst people who have been trafficked before and you would not even know it. I am a journalist and I tell stories. And I've been telling stories of death and destruction and stuff in the past with some of the major American networks. Beirut, Bosnia, Somalia, Baghdad, the works. Everything was fine because that's when I was getting my thrills, my adrenaline, ups, highs, lows, excitement, all of that. But then, in 1995, this is what happened to me. This was in Sarajevo in 1995, when a 500-pound bomb hit our office, TV station. That's me coming out of there.
Get with them, get with them, they're going.
This bomb wounded 36 people, killed one person, and damaged my eye. In fact, I'd lost my eye for a while, vision in the eye. But thanks to the doctors in Sarajevo and at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, they got it fixed. So this eye is good. But symbolically, what happened, this fixed eye started seeing life in a very different way. Instead of death and destruction, I started to feel that I should tell the stories of people in the world who normally do not have a voice, whose voices are unheard because they don't matter. They're poor. They're marginalized. People don't care about them. They don't have the power. And these are stories of people, little people fighting big battles, and sometimes even winning them. So as part of this, I got into the question of human trafficking because of the UN and started looking into it. And I was horrified. When you say human trafficking, I thought, well, it's a sex trade, illegal immigrants, illegal smuggling of people. It isn't any of that. It isn't about Russian pole dancers and all that. It is a lot more horrible than that. So we co-produced, with the help of an organization called End Human Trafficking Now, a 6-part series for the BBC on human trafficking around the world. We cannot even begin to start to tell you the stories because they're so horrific, but in these clips, you might just get an idea of what goes on.
Naenda beach natafuta pesa. Mimi ndio kama mara nyingine nyumbani hakuna uwezo. Sasa ndo napata chakula.
James's father thought their money problems were over.
Alafu alipokuwa akienda beach ndio akazoeshana na mzungu. Siku ya kwanza akajaniambia kwamba mzungu amenitunuku, kwa hivyo asema atasaidia nyumbani. Sasa mimi nikamwambia basi ni vizuri kwa sababu hata sisi tutapumzika mashaka.
Huwa mimi napoka 500 na wananitenda kitu kibaya. Hakunibaka.
You said you are going to provide a boy and a girl. Yeah. Which class?
The girl is in class 7.
The girl who is in class 7 is 10 years old or 11?
10 years.
And the boy, it's 9.
The boy is 10 years. It's the one whom I'm going to bring to you. He's my cousin.
Your cousin?
Yeah. I brought him from home because he's learning through me.
So you're providing some shelter for him?
The girl you are listening to is the friend of an underage bride who was sold by her father for $900. The 14-year-old was too afraid to make the call herself.
قبل كده عشان يساعد البنت طبعا والدها غير قادر وكانت اولاد يعني صرفت الفلوس. فكانت مأساة. هي دلوقتي لا تثبت حقها هي بنت تلاقي لها
कहा दे दो बच्चे का काम कराएगा अच्छा तो नहीं लगता है मजबूरी में चला है छोटा बच्चा था 12 था बड़ा 18 है दिन 9 बजे जागते थे काम बैठ जाते थे 12 बजे रात तक करते थे रुपया नहीं दे रहा है खाना खरीद दे रहा है 50 रुपया दे रहा है एतवार का
Sometimes I lost my mind. Didn't see her coming. She pushed me and said, "You have to be dead, dead, dead." It was the 3rd floor upstairs. When I was in the air, I rotated myself because I thought when I'm going to fall like this, I will break my head and even end of my. So I rotate myself. I don't know how, but I come in this.
How many people have you managed to convict of human trafficking in Mexico?
One.
These are some of the stories we found as we went worldwide covering human trafficking. The tragedy is that you see in so many instances, the first boy that we saw, James, 7 years old, he was raped. That tourist who took him in and imprisoned him in the hotel room went off scot-free. He was a powerful one. The police even didn't want to know about it. You look at how easy it is to buy and sell children, 10 years old, and usually from a position of trust. So many people are sold into slavery by people in whom they have placed trust. Here we saw what happened. It was a guy, he's got a girl and a boy, cousins, and he's selling them very happy to sell them to our undercover camera operators. We look at the boy in India. We had our crews cover some raids where the police actually freed some of these kids. And then kids like that, when they go back to the parents, what happens? The parents are unhappy that the kids have come back home because now they have to feed one more mouth and they've lost one source of income. So the kids are nowhere. You look at the girl in Egypt, said about that before, so heavily abused, not even by her husband, but by somebody else, and cannot come back home. And this lady in Kenya that we interviewed, her story was quite amazing. But the fact that she's even alive was she was sold into slavery under false pretenses to Saudi Arabia. She thought she was going as a nanny. She turned out to be a domestic slave. She got sold from one family to another. The another woman started making her short skirts and things like that to get her ready to go into prostitution. She resisted. As a result, that owner, and I won't say employer, it was the owner, pushed her off the 3rd floor window, balcony. And as she's falling, you can imagine what's going through her mind. She's trying to tell us, and she's saying, I look down and say, how do I rotate myself? What do I do? How do I stop my head getting crushed? So in that 10 seconds that it takes to go from the 3rd floor balcony down, and there was a swimming pool at the bottom, she decided, if I fall like this, I will save my life. And she did. She fell this way, she broke both her hands, we found her in Kenya. And she was one of the luckier ones. Her owner went scot-free, because the owner pretended to the police that this woman was trying to run away. She packed all the clothes in her bags and put them out there. So when the police came, she said she fell while she was trying to run away. There were 2 or 3 other Kenyan women at that time that actually came back in coffins. And their families could do nothing about it. They were powerless. Now, if you think for a moment that this happens just in Asia, in India, in places like that, it doesn't. Much closer to home, we saw this lady from the Human Trafficking Unit in Mexico 2 years ago. Tens of thousands of people being trafficked. And how many were convicted? 1. There has to be something that can be done. But even closer than that, here at home in Texas. Now, I love Texas. I've been here many times before. I've had the benefit of the generosity of a lot of Texans, hearts as big as everything else in Texas. But, Houston, we have a problem. We have a problem because Texas has got the largest number of trafficked people in the United States. 25% of trafficked people in the United States are here. Houston Airport provides a hub for the majority of the people coming into the United States. 18,000 people are trafficked into the country. The I-10 corridor from El Paso to Houston is the largest corridor for human trafficking. 30,000 people transit in and out of the United States. But it's not just people from outside. There are 250,000 minors, mostly girls, who are trafficked into prostitution in the United States. 250,000. We're not talking about Kenyans, Sri Lankans, Filipinos, anything. We're talking about Americans, domestic human trafficking. And what happens? Some of these are just simple disputes where people leave home, girls leave home, have a row with their parents. And somebody befriends them, becomes a boyfriend, makes them feel good. And the next thing they know is they're trapped into prostitution and they cannot get out. So if you look at the strip clubs or if you look at the truck stops and you see all these women, majority of them don't want to be there, but they don't have a choice. Now, one of the examples of how people get trafficked in is, again, it's on the question of trust. This is in Zambia, a poor village in Zambia. The young boy whose face is circled is by the name of Given Kachepa. His family, like everyone else, has got dreams and hopes for the children. What happens is a priest from Texas goes out to Zambia and he talks to the family. This boy, together with others, have a gift from God. They can sing. They're in the a cappella boys choir. And that is supposed to be his ticket to America and out of poverty. So the priest comes out and tells the parents and other parents like them, why don't you come over? Why don't you bring your kids over, send your kids over, I'll take them. We will go and sing in choirs all over churches. We'll raise money. We will educate your boys. We will feed your boys. We will send money back to you, and you can build schools and ensure that the kids get an education. Now, who can say no to a priest? If you cannot trust a priest, whom can you trust? And the same story is repeated, not just the church. In West Africa, people hand over the kids to Quranic teachers. Or in India, you'll find them in Hindu temples. In Thailand, you'll find them in Buddhist temples. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You just have to look. The problem is it is hidden. You have to look. So the family says yes. And the kids come here, and they start singing in Texas. And the priest delivers. He delivers the church choir singing, the fundraising, all of that. But not one penny goes out to the kids or to the people at home. There is, in many cases, not even medical care. Even TB was a problem and went untreated. The kids worked 7, 8, 9 hours a day, no breaks, no nothing. They were not allowed to complain because if they complained, there was manipulation used. The priest would say, I will send you back home and tell your parents you were disobedient or disrespectful. And that couldn't happen because the parents would have a hard time accepting that this was your ticket to freedom, to everything, to your future, and you blew it by being disrespectful. So in that way, the kids were forced to work incredible hours, no breaks, no nothing. Thankfully, that ended in about 2 years. Thankfully, that ended, and for Given Kachepa, he was very lucky. There was a guardian angel in the form of Sandy Shepard, a lady from Dallas, who took him in. She even took in the other kids first and then helped either find homes or find safe passage back to them. But she kept Given here and gave him every opportunity. Before even adequate human trafficking laws were in place, she fought the system and made sure that he had a safe home here. And that is it's a lucky thing and a good thing because he's now here in the United States and safe. But it isn't safe for everybody. A lot of the kids that went back, because they could not cope with all of this when either there was alcoholism or drugs or violence, they just could not cope. And not all stories can be success stories like Given. They cannot be because we have to do something about it. Otherwise, they will not all be successful stories. So, what can we do? Very quickly, we can make a difference. We can ask the right questions. We can ask people who make our garments, are these garments using forced labor? They will listen to you. The brand names will listen to you. They want your money, they will listen. Ask the chocolate manufacturers, is this slave labor, child labor from West Africa? Ask your gadget makers, electronic gadgets, is this slave-free labor? Ask them and they will listen. You can call hotlines. There are national hotlines that are set up. Call them. If there's a doubt about anything, ask. And get your law enforcement authorities to really take action and not treat the victims as the perpetrators, but the traffickers. And all of us can make a difference. All of us can really make a difference. If you think you cannot make a difference, that's wrong. To the world, you may be a person. But to a person, you may be the world. And you can make that difference. And now what I want to show you is this gentleman here. He previously was trafficked into the United States. He's a third-year student of dentistry in Dallas. And he's none other than our Given Kachepa that we talked about in the States here now. That is a success story.
We are today honored and graced with the presence of the man himself, Mr. Given Kachepa, and Sandy Shepard. Please put your hands together to welcome them. You met Sandy, who is your second mom, and what sense of hope did she provide to you? Because I realized that you were betrayed by adults when you were a child. So what sense of hope did Sandy provide for you at that point?
Well, she gave me a lot of hope because I grew up without anything. I lost my mom in '92, and then I lost my dad in '94. And then I got in this trafficking situation, and I was in it for 2 years. And then when she came into the picture, it gave me hope that I could try to do something out of my life because there's a lot of poverty in Africa. And just to think that I could go to school and try to learn and become something, then eventually in the future I might be able to go back home to my country and be able to help the people that are still suffering on a daily basis, even to this day. I mean, trafficking is happening everywhere. There's 27 million slaves around the world today. And if we're not doing anything to try to combat it, then it's going to continue. And the only way we do that is by spreading the word and making sure that the public understand that this is happening. And then we can resolve the issue. It's not something that I'm happy about being known as a modern-day slave, but if I can do it to help one more person, then I'm willing to stand up on a stage like this and tell my story.
And your being here is doing exactly that. Thank you, Given.
Thank you.